خلال جائحة كورونا في هذه الفترة اللي مرت بالعالم، في البداية كان هناك توقف من خلال المؤسسات الثقافية، توقف تام عن الأنشطة والفعاليات. فهذا الأمر أثر كثير على الثقافة عامة، وطبعاً منها الفنون. أصبح الفنان إنه هو يشتاق إنه كيف بيعرض أعماله، كيف بينتج، كيف إنه هو بيشارك في ندوات، في معارض، في أشياء أخرى، فعاليات. بس الحمد لله بمرور الوقت وضعت المؤسسات الثقافية من متاحف وغيرها بفضل القيادة الرشيدة لدولة الإمارات حلول وقنوات أخرى شجعت الفنانين أنهم يمارسون الفن أو يظهرون فنونهم بكل أريحية. طبعاً من خلال تواصلهم مع قنوات التواصل الاجتماعي اللي تعتبر هي المحرك الرئيسي في الوقت الحالي، واللي تعتبر هي اللغة الكونية لجميع العالم. من خلال هذه القنوات أصبحت هناك الأنشطة والفعاليات منتشرة، سواء كانت فعاليات شخصية يعني بالنسبة للفنانين. كل فنان أصبح عنده متسع لإظهار فنونه، لإظهار تجاربه الفنية، سواء كانت ورش تدريبية من خلال هذه القنوات أو من خلال لقاءات فنية ومحاضرات، متابعة لأنشطة كثيرة في مختلف أنحاء العالم.
There was a bit of a void. People didn't know what was going to happen. People didn't know what to do. I think then there was a response by the government and by arts organizations, and I think people began then to move online, and there was online exhibitions and webinars, and I see now there's online auctions being organized, but I think this needs to continue.
أعتقد الفن التشكيلي قبل جائحة كورونا كان الفنان يعني ما كان عنده وقت، كان دائما يسعى في مشاركات المعارض، في حضور المعارض التشكيلية والأنشطة والاجتماعات. لكن بعد فترة كورونا أعتقد كان فرصة كبيرة للفنان التشكيلي أن يكرس هذا الوقت للبحث وللقراءة وإعادة ترتيب أفكاره وإعادة تفكير في المشاريع اللي ممكن يقدمها بعد فترة كورونا.
I think when this wave of quarantine hit us in March, close to March or end of March, everyone was really feeling the pain of all the projects stopping all at once. And I think different entities, depending on their financial situation and their involvement within the artist community, pushed the agenda or were able to commission or feature artists in different manners. I know those who are very digitally based started doing a lot more features, bringing certain artists to light, giving them, what we call exposure in the field, which is great, especially to give them kind of the push they need when this whole quarantine situation rolls off. Others were paid to create artworks during this time.
لذلك الجائحة كانت مؤثرة وكانت فرصة، صحيح يقول لك التباعد يعني، لكن هي تقارب عائلي ونفسي وسياسي ومع القيادة، وتقارب كثير فيه من الخصوصية لأي مجتمع.
During and after the quarantine period, we've seen different commissions that have been given to artists. I mean, most of them I would personally see as small commissions to keep artists active. Maybe some were huge and used the artwork for more spreading the message and the awareness on how to stay safe. I think it somehow gave us hope as artists that things will go to a certain norm, and just to feel connected through the different organizations and projects that have approached us.
During COVID-19, artists are being commissioned in so many different ways. Some are being commissioned for artworks that are being featured for the COVID-19, others for online campaigns, and some others for online exhibitions in art, in art galleries, of course, on their websites, virtually. But Before COVID-19, artists were commissioned for art activations, for performances, and that's the difference. That before the quarantine, people were out, they were mingling, it was an easygoing kind of situation. But with the COVID-19, it made the world realize that they really need artists, because people are staying at home, they're in quarantine, they are in front of their screens 24/7. So they need to let go, they need something different, they need a change, and that's what art does. Art changes perspective. Art gives the people the space to breathe.
أثناء الحجر تم تكليف الفنان التشكيلي بالقيام بأعمال من المنزل، أو خلينا نقول عن بعد بشكل ملحوظ وكبير. وهالشيء خلانا نشوف فنانين في الدولة ما كنا نسمع عنهم بحكم بعد المسافات، يمكن كانوا يقومون بالمعارض أو عرض هاي الأعمال، بس الجائحة هاي أو الحجر خلت الأعمال هاي تنعرض عن طريق وسائل التواصل الاجتماعي بشكل ملحوظ. وأنا عن نفسي جدا منبهر بنخبة الفنانين اللي عندنا في الدولة، وأفتخر أني أكون واحد من بينهم.
I'm finding it hard almost to think of a pre and post-COVID. I'm certainly finding it hard to think of a post-COVID. The commissioning of art has been very difficult. We're fortunate in UAE that we tend to get more support maybe than other places. But post-COVID, I don't think of a post-COVID, I see this as continuing. Fortunately, we have lots of bodies here that have recognized that this is a serious issue, that we don't have this accessibility now to take our art forward, and the digital experience is not enough for the viewing public. So artists are having to go into different ways and using social media, but we are also getting a lot of government support from ministries, we're getting support from individuals, we're getting support from patrons who are realizing we need it. In the COVID and post-COVID world, if I can even say such a fantasy option, we just still will need more art, the artists, to get more into viewing their work online for collectors.
But I was lucky enough to be featured by prominent, for example, websites and pages. National Geographic were great at pushing this agenda. You know, some social media campaigns like My Dubai pushed this kind of agenda, where it would be for free, and we understood the constraints. Everybody was kind of tight on budget and tight on payments, and I understand that. But now, coming out of that phase where everyone was kind of doing everything for free, we're seeing a resurgence and this huge demand for, we want to consume more art, we want things to flourish again. And there's this huge push from entities and government, from private and government entities to make this happen. At least that's what I'm seeing. And in that sense, I have been, you know, myself and other artists included, have been asked to create certain artwork to just push the agenda forward again, to not stop, to make things even better than what they were like before the pandemic or before quarantine, for example.
There have been many different types of support for artists. You can be supported financially, but maybe it's not enough. The whole digital world opened up exponentially. It just went wild. And online workshops, webinars, artists showing their collections to people, rethinking how you can show your work is a whole different ballgame. Art is changing totally. The viewer experience and the artist connecting with the viewer is changing, and that support mechanism isn't fully operational yet, but it will. But fortunately, we've had government and private bodies recognizing the problem and trying to do something to help, especially the younger emerging artists that may not have other forms of finance to go forward.
في فترة كورونا الفنان التشكيلي كلف في بعض الممارسات أو الأنشطة من خلال المعارض الافتراضية، من خلال تكليف بعض الفنانين أنه يقيمون ورش فنية داخل بيوتهم، أيضاً المقابلات الفنية بعد من خلال المقابلات الافتراضية، المعارض الافتراضية، حضور الندوات عن بعد أيضاً، والملتقيات أيضاً. أصبح العالم قريب جداً من خلال البرامج والتكنولوجيا الحديثة.
And there needs to be a bigger response in this regard. I think the realization is people are understanding that artists exist financially on very little. And I think there needs, in these times, some more support.